The scene opens with an unidentified man strapped to a bed in a mysterious-looking room. There are several pieces of medical equipment attached to his body indicating that he is either sick or injured. Soon, he regains consciousness and a voice on the microphone inquires if he remembers his name. The unidentified man replies that he is Rafe Hanks, a famous political campaign manager. However, when the voice asks him if he knows the president, he remains silent. The movie then flashes back to 5 years ago, where RAF is at the peak of his career. He is currently campaigning for James Stevens, an overwhelming favorite candidate for the U.S. presidential election. When Raf peeks through his office, he notices several 1,000 people chanting for James. Even all the TV channels are sure that it is going to be a one-sided victory. This makes Raf very proud, as James was once a nobody. In fact, he was despised by all his friends and family members for something he did in the past. His life was on a downward spiral until RAF found him and changed his fortune. In the next scene, we see RAF talking to his assistant Maura McCowan. He is so full of himself that he has written a book called Wonderkind, which means being successful at a young age. Ralph also boasts that he wants a movie dedicated to him and that Justin Timberlake should play his character. And if we can't get JT, then I don't know, maybe Chalamet. He continues bragging about his accolades. But right then they are informed that the election results are out. As Raf and Maura enter James's room, they're taken aback to see everyone with a gloomy face. In a shocking turn of events, it is revealed that James overwhelmingly lost the election even in his home state of New Jersey. Enraged, he chastises Raf for being a total failure before firing him on the spot. This hurts the latter's ego so badly that he plunges into a deep abyss of anxiety. Okay, fine, we'll get Michael Cera to play me in the movie. Cut to several years later. Ralph has still not recovered from the traumatic experience. He has since quit his political career and spends most of his time at the bar, drinking. Gone are the days where he used to think of making his own movie with Justin Timberlake as the lead actor. The country is also going through a tough period because of high unemployment rate, high crime rate, and several other negative reasons. One day, as Ralph was drinking it as usual, a news report on TV reveals that an 11-year-old YouTuber named Oliver Foley has announced his candidacy for the upcoming presidential election. He has posted a video on his channel in which he promises to bring peace and happiness amongst his countrymen if he comes into power. But being a kid, Oliver also promises to provide everyone with free video games, as according to him, they improve hand-eye coordination. I'm voting for Ali. Raf, who is watching this in a drunken state, becomes impressed with a smile on his face. He then hatches a plan. Raf believes that in these tough times, most people will vote for the kid as he is genuine, honest, and sweet. He also takes it as the perfect opportunity to reinvigorate his career. So without giving it a second thought, Raf decides to get back to politics. Chalamet here, I come. The next day, he visits the Foley residence and has dinner with the family. All of his parents are happy that their son has gone viral on the internet, but they believe that he was just joking at the tender age of 11. It is simply not possible to get into politics, let alone govern a country. However, RAF, who is desperate to get his career back on track, thinks otherwise. He explains that all of her is something which the other politicians don't have a genuine connection with the public. Using this, he can easily amass a lot of followers and win the election. Raf states that even if Oliver doesn't become the president, he will still be a celebrity, which will earn him millions in endorsements. Hearing all this, the parents eventually allow Raf to lead their son in the presidential campaign. Later that night, Oliver records another video where he talks about all the reforms he is going to make once he becomes the president. For instance, there will be 3 holidays a week. The winter holidays will be extended by a month. All the Star Wars movies will be banned. Orally, every single person in the country will be given a video game of their choice, and so on. In no time, the video goes viral, and so Oliver's campaign officially begins. The very next day, we see him making promises in front of a large audience. He also performs an impressive dance routine, which he posts on his YouTube channel to get more recognition. All of this is being supervised and coordinated by none other than RAF. He is finally making up for the debacle he suffered some years ago. As the days pass, RAF becomes so popular and loved that even his ex-assistant Maura comes back to him. In the next scene, we are shown that the 11-year-old boy managed to amass a serious fan following despite his young age. Many people believe that he is the right person to lead the country because of his pure heart. And because, let's face it, we'd all do anything for a 3-day weekend. They are ready to take the risk, claiming that nothing can be worse than the state they are in. In this way, Rafe continues leading the campaign to success. But as Oliver gets popular, he also becomes arrogant. That cheeky brat regularly berates his parents and other staff without any remorse. In particular, he doesn't let go. Into the doctor as he is scared of Needle's wrath, who is always with the boy, notices all this but doesn't say a word. A few more days pass and the presidential debate is just around the corner. Rafe has hired some of his best politicians, teachers, and other scholars to educate the boy, but to no avail. No matter how talented and woke Oliver is, he is still an 11-year-old. He can't grasp the basics of politics, let alone face the cameras or go up against some of the most experienced politicians in the country. Nonetheless, Rafe decides to proceed with the debate as they have come too far to fail. Just say the thing about the video games again, kid. Unfortunately, the decision turns out to be a disastrous one as Oliver the kid humiliates not only himself but his entire team on live television. When the going gets tough, even causes mommy to take him home. Everyone sympathizes with Oliver as he is just an 11-year-old. But as for Raf, he is again accused of failing the campaign. So the very next day he again reverts to alcoholism. He is now done with politics. As no matter how hard he tries, he buries himself in an even deeper grave. One day, Moore visits Rafe at his usual drinking spot and reveals that she met the Foleys earlier. Turns out they're going through a tough period, not because Oliver lost the presidential debate, but because of their beloved dog Homer dying of cancer. Hearing this, another idea strikes Rafe's drunken mind since people sympathize with dogs. He wants Oliver to make another video in which he will share his happy memories with Homer. The plan is to gain the attention of the people and ultimately win them over. Moore thinks that it is a bad idea, as it could easily go south, but Rafe simply says it's time to make or break. We got to use this dog cancer this time. The plan finally works. As soon as the emotional video hits the internet, it becomes a viral sensation, and people start pouring all over with their deepest sympathies, and once again turn to his side. The movie then cuts to a few days later, where it is revealed that Oliver has won the election by a landslide. He is now officially the President of the United States of America. A massive rally takes place to celebrate his victory, where millions of people line up on the streets. It is evident that Rafe's idea has won the hearts of the Americans. Dog still dead though. Later, after the celebrations are over, Oliver and his team finally arrived at the White House. He is ecstatic to start his tenure as the president, but at the same time his arrogance has reached sky heights. Oliver orders his cabinet members to distribute video games to all the citizens of the country, and when they hesitate he threatens to fire them. He even disregards his mom and Rafe when they try to explain that the decision is a bad one. So with no options left, the cabinet members agree and leave the room. As the days pass, all of his outrageous demands continue to increase. We see that he has installed a popcorn machine inside his office and brought a bunch of penguins from Antarctica. Moreover, he has deployed a swing in place of the presidential chair. So far, I see no issues here. The following day, he ordered several dogs to be brought to his office as he wants to adopt one. However, when he finds out that all of them are female, he angrily asks them to be taken out. Oliver claims that his beloved Homer was a male, so he wants a dog resembling him. Rafe and the other members are stunned to see his arrogance. Dude, this guy's sexist towards animals, but nonetheless, they comply without uttering a word. The same day, the vice president approaches Oliver and requests that he undergo a medical examination. However, the arrogant brat starts shouting, saying that he is well and fine. When the VP asserts that it is a rule made compulsory by the Congress, Oliver orders the Congress to be dissolved immediately. He then starts throwing his ball around the room, hurting some people in the process, worried that something terrible is about to happen. Rafe later meets the military chief and asks him to educate the boy. He wants to make sure that no one gets affected by all of his abrupt and childish antics. Unfortunately, the military chief takes this as an offense and he calls Raf a traitor. The latter immediately apologizes, but the damage has already been done that evening. Raf again starts worrying about his career. Despite everything that he has achieved, he believes that he has made the wrong choice by helping Oliver become the president. However, his best friend and only confidant Moore argues that the 11-year-old is doing a good job. She says that Rafe is simply overthinking things and that he should take some rest. However, our protagonist is not going to let the injustice slide so easily. So the following day, he approaches Oliver while he is playing golf in his office. He wants to politely make the boy understand that whatever he is doing is wrong, rather than grabs a golf stick and starts explaining the responsibilities of a president to the country. They should be brave and lead the people in difficult times. Unfortunately, Oliver takes it the wrong way and becomes angry. He starts throwing things around and demands an apology. But this time Rafe is having none of it. He bluntly refuses to apologize and even calls the boy stupid. Hearing this, Oliver orders his security to take action at all. You really stepped in it now, big boy. And as the camera pans out, we see blood splattered on the walls. Following this, we are taken back to the mysterious room that we saw at the start of the movie. Rafe is tied to a bed, and it is revealed that he survived the gunshot wounds. However, due to the excessive loss of blood, he STB operated on immediately. In the last scene, the doctor assigned by Oliver finally arrives. He is another 11-year-old boy who probably has no experience in surgery. To make matters worse, he wants to finish the procedure so that he can go back to playing video games. The movie ends as poor Raph screams in horror, as his life is slowly taken away from him.